From screen to shelf.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of From Screen to Shelf. This is Gabe. I'm here with my boy Chase, and we are here to ride the coattails of Deadpool and Wolverine and do a little bit of a Marvel ranking challenge. We haven't done one of these in a minute. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the Marvel movies, and these are the ones for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right?
Yep, only MCU. No TV shows, just theatrical releases.
Okay, so no X-Men, no 20th Century Fox stuff.
Nope.
Just the Disney Marvel MCU. So preface, guys, we're going to go through these movies. We're going to give ourselves 45 minutes. This may be difficult to do in 45 minutes because I think there's like 30 something movies. But exactly. We're going to try and do it. If we can't hit 45 minutes, we'll do a little bit of overtime. But also want to preface that if we say that we really, really like a movie, let's say we give it like a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 or top rank, whatever it is, we're just grading these as Marvel movies. Yep. We're not saying they're like as good as The Godfather or, 2001 or whatever. We're just strictly grading them in the bubble of the Marvel universe. And that's it. Yeah. So, any other thoughts, Chase, before we get started?
No, I think that's perfectly sick. We always got to put that discaimer in.
Yeah, man.
There's always that one like, rogue agent.
You think Civil War's a 9 out of 10? What's wrong with you? Also, and bear with us, guys. Some of these movies, I mean, at least for me, I haven't seen some of these in a while. I mean, I've seen all of them, but we're just gonna, try to knock these out the best we can. And this is gonna be probably the toughest one because it's 30.
I think so.
Something movies.
Some of them are polarizing. They're different. You know what I mean?
And you said you have hot takes on some of them.
I do. There's one that I despise and everybody loves, and you'll
really
actually. There's two of them.
Oh man, and that's the problem.
I used to watch these every year. Like whenever they'd come out, I had this thing where I had to rewatch all of them. It was way easier way back in the day.
Yeah.
So like as they'd come out, I don't have to watch like 2 or 3. But then as it a little bit either towards or after Endgame, it just got too much, so I stopped doing it. But I've at least seen Ant-Man like 5 or 6 times. I used to be obsessed with the MCU.
Wow. Okay. So you might remember more than me then, but maybe. Yeah, we'll try our best. We're gonna shoot for 45 minutes. That's the challenge. Let's see if we can bring the screen up just to see what we're working with here, and then I will start the timer for 45 minutes.
Let's go.
We'll see if we can knock this out of the park, man.
Yep, and we're gonna go in random order. There's no specific. We're not going in release order, guys.
Yeah, and I think that might actually help because I have biases, obviously, with which era is better than another era, and I think it's just better to hit these movies randomly just to give them a fair shake.
Yeah, I agree. All right, you want to hit that timer?
I'm gonna hit the timer. You ready to share the screen, dude?
Yep, let's rock. Here's everything that we've got for our video listeners.
3, 2, 1.
Let's roll.
Let's rock and roll. What's the first
one? The first one's Ant-Man and the Wasp, but I don't think I can talk about that without going straight to Ant-Man first. So let's do Ant-Man first. What are your thoughts?
Ant-Man, I love it. I think it's honestly one of the best. I like top tier Marvel movies.
I think it is the best.
Whoa. Okay.
So now let me preface for anybody else that had that same reaction. Somebody driving their car going, "Whoa, Chase, what the hell, man?" This was originally the entire screenplay is by Edgar Wright. He had to like go to like the guild and everything to make sure they gave him credit, and he was supposed to be the director of it. I believe it's Peyton Reed that did this, channeled every ounce of fucking Edgar Wright that was imaginable without being Edgar Wright. This movie is an Edgar Wright movie in every way. And I'm a huge Edgar Wright fan. He doesn't always hit, but that's why I love it. It is so unique compared to everything else Marvel out there. It truly has a unique sense of identity, and it takes a character that is not a threat and that isn't anything, and he doesn't go up against anything big time. He doesn't go up against anything multiversal or anything world ending or anything like that. But that's why I adore it so much, man. It's nothing too crazy. It's self-contained. It's goofy, and it almost has, outside of like Pym particles and stuff, it almost has a sense of realism to it. You know what I mean?
it's its own thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that if you take away the Marvel-esque part of it, like it's really its own story, like within this like Marvel universe thing. Like it's a solid movie. I really enjoyed it. I like the kind of I think he's like the most relatable, one of the most relatable characters in the MCU, because he's kind of like just, you know, thrown into this wild mess of, you know, superheroes and all that stuff. So, I mean, if you want to, I mean, are you saying you want to put it at S rank or A rank?
Oh, yeah, I would personally put it at S.
Let's just throw it an S for now. I mean, because we got to get through so many. I think the hard part is when we got to start reorganizing them. Like, let's just let's just start throwing them in, and then we can kind of go from there. So, I hated Ant-Man the Wasp, by the
way. It has none of that charm. I just went on like a little love letter about, man. Dude, Edgar Wright was missed. Like, they really should have just hired him to write the script for this, and he didn't even need to direct.
I don't remember the villain. I don't remember what it was about.
It was like the invisible lady. Yeah, that like had no weight or momentum.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, like the white, like 3-dotted, almost spider-looking lady.
It had nothing. Like, I had no emotional impact. It had nothing in terms of like, you know, significance within the MCU. I'm down to put it like DF rank. Like for now, just until
D. I'm D. I agree. Because it's just such a huge step down. It has none of the charm. You don't have Thomas the Tank Engine flying through a fucking building.
You lose everything that made the first one so special. I think the first one is just kind of this wholesome. The first one has heart. I guess that's the best way to describe it. And the second one is just a cash cow.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. And I guess while we're on the topic of Ant-Man, we can just finish up the trifecta. How do you feel about Quantumania?
I liked it better than Ant-Man and the Wasp. I don't think it's anything memorable. I didn't get any like significant like emotional resonance with it. I'd probably put it like a C. Yeah, it's like a C maybe.
Yeah, it's a little bit better. I liked the Kang dynamic, but also at the same time, it's kind of like impossible for really Ant-Man to go up against him. But I think they kind of wrote it well. Like Catherine Newton, I love her. She's a scream queen in the horror genre, and she's in that. So I absolutely love it for that reason. But the bad parts in that movie are fucking bad. But
well, yeah, when you got really who was that one dude from the original that shows up as that weird looking?
Oh, that shows up as MODOK.
Yeah, it's MODOK.
Yeah, terrible.
That was trash. And I mean, obviously with his personal life set aside, like who's the actor that was playing Kang? Dude, I'm forgetting his name.
Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, Jonathan Majors. I think he gave a solid performance as Kang. I thought he did a really good job. And it was supposed to be like a pretty significant movie. I felt like an MCU, and it didn't really have that weight at all either. Like it was just kind of forgettable. So we can leave it in the middle ground for now.
I think that's a really good ranking because it's better than Wasp for sure, but it definitely doesn't get anywhere near the original Ant-Man. Let's all right, Avengers or Captain America?
What's the next one on the list? Is it Avengers?
It's Avengers: Age of Ultron, but we'd have to go to the first one.
Oh, okay.
The first one.
Let's do the Avengers movies last, just because that's like a culmination of everything. So maybe let's start with Captain America.
All right, here's Black Panther. How'd you feel about Black Panther?
Oh, dude, Black Panther's honestly one of my favorite MCU movies.
I think it's S tier.
Yeah, I think it's S tier. It's the only. I think I've said this on the server and the Reddit a lot. It's the only MCU movie where I gave a shit about the villain. Like I actually like understood where like Killmonger was coming from. Like you have some kind of emotional resonance with what he's doing, even though I mean obviously it's fucked up. But like I was like, I see where you're coming from, dude, and it makes that final battle just like a lot more emotional. And it's just a really emotional story overall. I think that they wrote it really well. Performances were solid. Boseman does an amazing job as Black Panther. I honestly say that is probably one of my favorite MCU movies, period. So that's S tier for me.
It's great. I haven't seen Wakanda Forever, so that one's all on you.
Oh crap, yeah. I forgot that. It's not as good as the original. Boseman is obviously missed. It's not as bad as Quantumania in my opinion. It's not an amazing movie. Like you could probably put it like for now, like above Quantumania in the C tier.
In C.
Yeah, I mean it has like this is gonna be fucked up to say. It a lot of it rides off of obviously Boseman dying, and I think that's where a lot of like the emotional parts of the story kind of play off. So like they handle it really, really well. I'm like torn between like giving it bottom B tier and top C tier, but but like the villain is kind of forgettable. It's you know, you don't have Boseman and it doesn't hit as hard. So I mean, we can leave it like top C tier for now.
Top C. Okay.
Yeah.
And then C is a perfect transition to Captain America, the First Avenger.
Dude, I haven't seen this movie in so fucking long.
I love it, man. It's just so comic booky, you know, with like Bucky, with Cap, with Red Skull. It's just straight from the comics adapted. My only complaint about it is how freaking big Chris Evans' head is. Whenever he's like shrunk down into skinny,
like regular size,
that's bothered me ever since the first time I watched that way back when it.
I do remember the CGI with that looked kind of funky. Like
it looks like terrible. He's got the head of an adult, but the body of a 12-year-old.
It is, but yeah, I mean, it was a really solid movie, just like his character arc with obviously becoming Captain America, and it does feel like those like traditional like comic book movies that we would get like prior to Disney having Fox or Disney having Marvel, like those 20th Century Fox movies. Like that's how it kind of felt, to be honest. I really liked Captain America. I'd probably give it like an A or B tier.
I'd give it an A.
Interesting. You could throw it there because I mean, if we're gonna move into Winter Soldier right now, right?
Yep, one of my 3 hot takes, man.
Oh, don't tell me you.
I think that movie is just so fucking boring, man. That
what?
So
no! So this is where we're gonna run into our first issue. No way! Are you serious?
Yeah.
What do you think is boring about it,
dude? It's actually one of the few I've only seen once pre Avengers Endgame. I don't remember much about it. I remember like towards the ending and stuff. I just think that like Winter Soldier is just such an uninteresting character that they really, really try to push off to you. And I get it. Like he's so pivotal to Captain America. So like you really can't have Winter Soldier. It's a bound to happen story. I just personally don't give a damn about him. Is one of the biggest flaws in the Captain America and Winter Soldier series. Like he was actually good in that one. I liked him, but I didn't find the story that fun or anything like that. And I know it's one of the most popular ones, and I'm like in the 1% on that one.
It's interesting. I mean, like I can see what you're saying. So the first one is like a lot more charming, classic superhero.
True. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then
it just goes to serious, man.
Well, I think that's why I like Winter Soldier. Like I think it goes to like serious political, almost like a political I mean, it's an action movie, obviously, but it's like a political drama / action movie. And the reason I like it so much is because it explores that landscape of like how do you fit superheroes into this, like obviously like they're trying to establish like a real world, but like, you know, like from a political perspective, how do we, you know, navigate the thing of superheroes, which in Civil War goes into a lot more deeply. But I mean, I just loved that tone. I think a lot of superhero movies do that for some reason, where the first one is just kind of a lot more lighthearted and the second one just goes super dark. But I really embrace that with Winter Soldier, man. I love it. I mean, I like it more than the first one. So this is where we're gonna have an issue.
I'll let you just rank this one on your own because I know I'm in the minority. So you're saying S tier?
We could leave it A tier, like on top of. I mean, I'm waiting to see. We're gonna be shuffling a lot of these movies around. I think like once I get a full picture, it's gonna be, you know, there's gonna be shuffling for sure. So we can leave it A tier for now. This leaves to Civil War.
Dude, that's such a bad movie. I'm not even exaggerating. Dude, if you've read the comic book, that movie is terrible. I'm not trolling. I know I'm known for trolling you, but I am not trolling you.
Me. No way, man.
Dude, that movie is so bad. Like genuine F. That movie has no stakes. Again, you're pushing Winter Soldier off when that has nothing to do with like I'm really good at
War's not about
you know what I mean? Like I'm really good at separating like the medium and the inspiration to what comes to life. The only redeeming thing about this movie is the Winter Soldier and Captain America fight against Tony Stark at the end. That's it. Everything else.
What about the airport sequence? What are you talking about?
No. Dude, the whole Spider-Man thing was only done to get people to go, fuck yeah, man.
Of course, and it worked.
Nah, dude, even I wasn't. No, man.
No way.
It's so bad, dude. Go read. I believe it was Mark Miller that wrote the comic books. So that is actually, I have an entire run of that, and that was some of the first comic books I got.
But do you think that's like I heard you saying like you feel like you can separate and differentiate and say this is the movie? Why?
Because Captain America, or not Captain America, Civil War is like so close to me, man. Like I genuinely believe that Civil War is one of the greatest comic book runs of all time.
Okay, so you're a lot more You're a lot more passionate. I've read Civil
Yeah.
War, but it's been over like at least over 10 years since I've read it.
Yeah, it's so good, man. Like they forgot like the most influential part of it was it was started by this dude named Speedball, which I love him, I adore him, and he had such an iconic transition in the comic books, man. He becomes this entire thing. Like, have you ever played Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2?
No.
So there's a character you get to play as named Penance, which is Speedball, who he's the one that, because his power is he can reverse the kinetic energy that he takes in and like essentially blast it. So like if he rolls up into a ball and just bounces on the ground, he can make himself bounce higher. You see where I'm going? Through the kinetic energy. So they're trying to stop these supervillains because they do this TV show reality style where it's like superheroes on supervillains and they kind of like ambush them in this house. The dude ends up becoming super powerful, and then the combination of their powers explodes an entire like city block is essentially what ends up happening. So then you have the I forget what exactly they call it, but the articles where they introduce like the two sides, register or don't.
Yeah.
You know? And so Speedball goes through this transition where he feels bad, dude, because so many people died. So what he does is he puts in himself in like this Iron Maiden suit and becomes Penance, where it's like dude, Google Penance. I know this is not movie related, but I'm just educating the audience out there. Google Penance, man. It's the coolest looking superhero ever, bro. And his arc is so good, man. Like, and I get like he probably wouldn't have been digestible.
I'm trying to remember
so
like
good.
oh yeah, so I remember Speedball. Like look, I'm googling Speedball.
Yeah, and then Penance, he's got like this suit that like pierces his skin, and
I
like,
remember that spikes.
too. Yeah, dude, it's so like emotionally done well, and like you go from having an absolute nobody that you don't care about to somebody like, holy shit, man, I kind of feel for this guy's genuinely remorseful, and you don't get that a lot in that medium all the time to that level.
Well, I mean, this is the thing, and you've read Civil War like way more than I've had. I only read it once, so. And from what I remember, it had, I mean, obviously the like Wolverine and all these other characters that are not in the movie, obviously because of the distribution rights at the time.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, do you think that's some of it though? I mean, like that.
I think they did it too early.
I
think it should have been like Avengers Endgame level type of movie.
I don't disagree with that. I mean, a lot of people almost call this like they call it like Avengers 2.1 or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's like
I think it should have been bigger than what it was.
I don't disagree with that. I can't disagree with that part of it because Civil War is like it is a pretty significant arc. Yeah, it's huge and it's hard because
they did it.
Yeah,
like they'd have something great to build towards now. You know what I mean? Instead, they used almost all their ammunition up until Endgame. Now look what they're doing. You know what I mean?
But it's hard though, because I feel like that's what I mean. We're gonna get into Avengers, but that's almost like the basis of Avengers is that they're all broken. They're you know what I mean? Like they're scattered at the beginning of the third one.
Yeah, no, and that's true, and that's very fair. But they could have written something very similar without using Civil War. They've done it in plenty of the other movies. You know what I mean? Like world-ending threats, this, that, something that never happened in the comic books, which is okay. I like freedom in that aspect, right? But it's just like, dude, the biggest takeaway is like it all being about Winter Soldier. One person. All being about one person instead of something catastrophic happened, which I get it. They bring up Avengers Age of Ultron in there as well, where when Ultron brings up like the
and a whole bunch of people died.
And that would have been better than having it all tie into Winter Soldier. Like, had you just built off of that, I think that's perfectly valid. But you just had to shoehorn Winter Soldier into the storyline for no reason, I feel like. Like, why?
You really hate, you're a Winter Soldier hater, bro. I
dude,
think we figured that
like, dude, it's just like they shove him down your throat so much in that movie. And it's like, dude, who the fuck are you? I already had a whole movie about you. Why are you back? Like,
I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I have to rewatch it again. Like, I felt like, I mean, Winter Soldier is just like, I feel like he's just kind of the I don't want to say the spark, but he's just part of the equation. Like, I feel like there's so many other things that kind of created that animosity between them. Because Age of Ultron delved into it a little bit, right? Where I mean, that's why Tony created Ultron, where it's like you know, so we don't have the superhero anymore, and we can do it safer.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I mean, to me, it's an A movie. I love
an A
Civil
movie,
War.
man.
Yeah, it's an A movie, dude. I mean, like, look at what we got so far. So, like, we got. I mean, you agree it's better than Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and you've never seen Wakanda Forever. So, I mean, you have to admit it's better than those.
No,
you cannot say, dude. No way. We're gonna. Oh hell
No.
no, dude. There's no way you
No.
think it's
I'll
worse
put
than
it in
Quantumania.
B. I can swallow my pride and put
No
it in B,
way, dude.
I can
No
put it in
way.
B.
I thought that was like an easy, like
No.
giving it a B is easy.
It's one of my hot takes, man. I've only found a handful of people that agree, that can't separate that. You know what I mean? And even coming from a realm of understanding, like what you said, rights, everything versus what you have. Because even Spider-Man has such a huge moment in Civil War with Tony Stark. It's great, man. Like he becomes Iron Spider, everything. Daredevil has such an amazing arc in that as well.
Yeah.
Iron Fist becomes Daredevil, I'm pretty sure, during the original Civil War comic books, because he goes into hiding because everybody already knows who he is. You know what I mean?
They had some of the Ronin stuff in there too, right?
Yeah. So dude, it's just it just doesn't work. I think it should have been called something a little bit different, because my expectations were that this is going to be the greatest Marvel movie ever made. The second they announced it, I was hyped for the trailer. I was hyped for everything. Once I got in there, I was like, "What the fuck did I just watch, dude?" I felt the same way about this movie that I felt during Batman v Superman, and I've already told you how I felt.
No
that.
way, dude. You can't compare Batman versus Superman versus no way.
Dude.
There's no way.
It's so bad.
There's no way, man. I feel like
if I have to. Like, think about it. If I was in a different reality and the comic books never existed, it is an okay movie. I still don't give a shit about Winter Soldier, though.
I'll give you this. I feel like a lot of it was. You could argue that a lot of it is like kind of hype, like we use like the Spider-Man example, where it's like, okay, like they're all fighting, like that's what was exciting people, right? It's like, okay, you're seeing everybody fight each other. But I felt like, in terms of a story and like character arcs with Tony Stark and Steve Rogers, I felt like they did a solid job writing that.
They did. I will give you that. Yeah, I did. But they also, in exchange, they also left out development for the background characters. I think that should have been a 2-part movie.
That would have been interesting. I'm not opposed to, looking at that.
Yeah, because it's a big enough event.
We have so many movies to look at, but it's like, I wouldn't mind exploring that or thinking of what that would be like. It's a pretty significant event. Or it could have just been maybe that you should have just left out Age of Ultron and just done this as your part 2 kind of thing. Make it Avengers Civil War. I don't know. It should have been. I can see how you're saying it should have been a lot bigger, but there's just no way you can't tell me that it's not better than Quantumania. Like the fact that you hesitated to put it on the B slot, like that, there's just no way.
Dude, no. At least I don't know. At least I have no expectations going into Quantumania, which I know that's like my own expectations on myself. It's just you call yourself Civil War. Like if you call yourself Age of Ultron, there's an arc, I believe, roughly, or if not exactly named after that. I'm a much more bigger DC guy. I'm not going to say try to act like a Marvel expert. My expertise is Moon Knight and the Civil War arc. That's about as far as it goes, and a lot of Daredevil because I love Daredevil.
Yeah,
but that
and Age of Ultron took a lot of liberties too. Because this is like 10 or more years since I've read Age of Ultron, but it didn't play out that way in the comics at all. It's a much
Hank
different
Pym
movie.
was involved in the Age of Ultron.
Pym was involved. Yeah, like there's a lot of other things, and it wasn't so much Tony making like Ultron for for the purposes he made it in the movie. Like there's differences, and that's a tough part too. If you are invested in the comics, right? If you do have kind of this attachment to a lot of the source material, separating it can be difficult. I'm not saying that you're having trouble separating it, but
just
for some people it could be.
Yeah, because Ant-Man's nothing like how he is in the comic books. You know what I mean? And that's my favorite Marvel movie. Yeah. So like I'm always for creative liberties, except Moon Knight, because they did that terribly. But it's like Ant-Man, they did really, really well. Black Panther, they stayed tried and true while also still taking liberties. And in plenty of examples, like with what we'll get into here in a little bit with Avengers, like Captain Marvel, that's absolutely not how she is in the comic books.
No, yeah,
but I think it's
a lot of liberties. Yeah,
you know what I mean? I think they did her well and everything like that. So like I like having my different mediums. You know what I mean? Like I like having my gun-toting Batman in BVS, and then having my realistic Batman. You know what I mean? In the comic books. That's why I appreciate different mediums. There's just something about Civil War, man. I cannot separate that, dude. There's just something about it. I just can't.
Now I want to read it again because it's been so long since I've read it again. But maybe I'll read it again.
Read it twice.
Let's keep pushing because otherwise we're gonna run out of time. Let me see where we're at with time. We're at
32 minutes.
We're at 21 minutes right now. So Let's see.
Original Avengers. Original Avengers.
I mean, some of this is biased, dude. I don't know how you feel about it. It's a nostalgia, like, because I just remember opening night, midnight, watching that movie.
So packed.
It was packed, and the freaking like, I mean, I hate applause usually, but like the applause were like warranted. You know what I mean? Like, it was just everything.
People were just excited.
Yeah, people were just genuinely excited, and the movie hit all those notes like perfectly. It was not what I anticipated it to be. I was actually worried about it before it came out. I was kind of like, I don't see how you can kind of merge all these different characters like Thor and Iron Man. I'm like, they're so different, and I was really concerned about putting them together. But it worked, man. It's a fun movie. I love it. I probably put it like, it's some of it's nostalgia though. I don't know, what do you think about it?
I'd say upper A, because I definitely think it's better than Age of Ultron. And
better than Age of Ultron.
Yeah, it's inherently, it's a strong origin movie for all of them. And this is where you start getting the tempo for the rest of the Marvel movies. It's lighthearted. There's a joke every 30 seconds, maybe 2 minutes at most. And it doesn't take itself seriously. You're just there to have fun. And that's what Joss Whedon really, really was able to capture with this. And it holds up on repeat viewings easily.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's fair to probably give it upper A. Yeah, just to... Again, we're going to probably reorganize them. But I mean, yeah, that is one of my favorite Marvel movies. I love the original Avengers.
No, Age of Ultron, where'd you put that? I just don't...
I walked out kind of discouraged after, you know, from when I saw it in theaters. It just did not hit. And especially like with the Scarlet Witch stuff.
It was so weird.
Like, yeah, and I felt... So this is what we were talking about with Civil War, right? It's like, should they have done that movie when they didn't have the rights for, you know, X-Men? Like, there was a word that they used, remember? Like, they couldn't even say mutants. Like, they had to use some other word. I forgot what it was. And I was like, this just feels weird.
Yeah, dude, you know what's super weird as well whenever it comes to that? Like, this is a fun fact. Some people might know. Sound off in the comments below. But that was one of the things that was irritating, because you know how I said I like separate mediums and stuff?
Yeah.
So they went so far as to actually alter the origins in the comic book so that way they could legally use them more freely. Did you know that?
What?
So you know how Magneto's their father, right?
Yeah.
They completely erased that out of comic books.
Didn't they like give a hint of something like that though? Like,
yeah, so it was never, I don't believe, again, I am not trying to act like an expert. I just remember this being a big deal around the time that this movie came out, because people were like, how are they using this? Because I believe Days of Future Past just came out with the other guy as Quicksilver in that one. And so, yeah, I don't believe, it's always been back and forth, this and that, but they completely erased it, saying that that's never been the case around the time that they wanted to use them. It's the same thing whenever you start realizing, like, Ironheart, they start pushing Ironheart out because they want more people to get used to, hey, we're going to make a movie of this person. You know what I mean? So that's kind of why it left a bad taste in my mouth. Is like, if you don't, like what you just said, you don't have the fucking rights, why do you have to have them? You aren't
why include them? And they're not even in it. And you guys sound off in the comments. I haven't read Age of Ultron in forever. I don't even remember if they're in Age of Ultron. They might be. But I remember if you just added them in there just because it's cool, like it's you know what I mean?
They're pretty popular characters.
They are,
yeah.
And I mean, and the casting was great. You know what I mean? Obviously, Scarlet Witch is phenomenal. I think she does a great job in the movie with what she's given. And then you also have that weird thing where she has her accent and then it goes away.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that does happen, doesn't it?
Yeah. I never. And they kind of addressed it. I forgot what the reason was or something. But yeah, it was kind of disappointing. I feel like it didn't hit any. Yeah, I'd probably say C. You know what? I could be wrong. I'd have to rewatch it again. I'd probably say Wakanda Forever is better than Age of Ultron.
Really?
Like, Age of Ultron's kind of
it's forgettable.
Yeah, it's like there's nothing really significant that happens.
The best part of it is James Spader, if I'm saying it, James Spader.
Oh yeah,
as Ultron, his voice acting was phenomenal,
and like his performance is amazing. I think they casted him like really, really well, but unfortunately, they just wasted the actual story.
Yep,
what happened?
I agree. How do you feel about because it was Infinity War next.
Yeah, Infinity. This is the debate, right? A lot of people have. It's like, it's Infinity War versus Endgame, and there's so many people that prefer one or the other. It's hard, man. I think it's an S tier movie. I think it's probably one of my more favorite ones.
Infinity War.
Yeah, I mean, you have Thanos. I mean, it's more of a climax to everything. You know what I mean? I think you're getting the fact that you're able to handle not only just the core group of the Avengers, but also all the other freaking characters that you've been developing, you know, for over 10 years. Yeah, I mean, like they really did a really good job with the writing, handling that many freaking characters, because that's mind-boggling. So I would probably put it S tier. I don't know what you think about it.
Yeah, I've already threw it up there. I agree 100%. I think it's one of the more flawless entries in that. It sets it up extremely well. The starship or the spaceship part with Thanos and Loki was awesome. Yeah, that was a really great scene. The scene with Hulk, everything like that. It was really well done.
The Wakanda charge, all that stuff. It's dope. I love Infinity War. I mean, the question is if you like Endgame or Infinity War more.
I like Infinity War more.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
Because there's only one reason, and I think Endgame suffers from a little bit of pacing issues. The biggest one is whenever they go back in time. I just think that I think that's a plot device to pad runtime. I don't think it was necessary, and I think you just wrote it in there to make it longer.
I can see that. So so for me personally, I like them both equally. Yeah. But I can see why Infinity War is, you know, people consider it as a better movie, because the time it turns into a time heist movie, right? Like you go into this like emotional arc of like where things have happened, or I think how long did that snap happen? It's like 5 years or something. Yeah, so it's interesting exploring that, and it turns into like a super emotional movie, Endgame, and then it's like all of a sudden it's like, no, we're doing a time heist, and it's like a completely different movie for like 45 minutes. But then you get the end battle, and it's the best battle in the entire entire series. So like you can put it underneath Infinity War.
Yeah,
I don't know. Do you think it's S tier or?
I would put it in the highest of high A's, just because I genuinely believe that time jumping was just stupid. It's just a plot device. I think it was purely, you could have gotten the same story and done something a lot shorter to get straight to the point. You know, like the part where him and Cap go back in time. I just found it kind of pointless. Like, I didn't really need a scene with Tony Stark interacting with his own dad.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I'd give it an S tier as well, just because I still feel like they wrapped everything up like really, really well. And I feel
the ending. Yeah,
it's the ending, and I feel like they took a lot of risks too with because you have a few deaths in this one, right? You got Iron Man, you got is it Black Widow dies in this one, right?
Technically, yes. No.
Was it this one or the other one?
I want to say that was Endgame or Infinity War. It's like you said, they're all one coherent thing, but technically Cap dies in this one.
Cap, oh yeah, he goes back in time, right? Like, so his story. No, Black Widow dies in this one because she's with Cap at the beginning with like when they're going back to Tony's and everything. She's still alive.
Yeah.
So it's this one. So like, they took a lot of risks. I didn't see Black Widow dying. I didn't see Iron Man dying. I didn't see Steve Rogers like actually to making that move at the end. So it took. I'd leave it bottom S tier. I think it's not as good as Infinity War, but it's a solid movie.
Yeah, I agree. And dude, halfway through us talking about Avengers, I realized you earlier you said save them for the end. But
now
we got more room for the easier to get.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Let's go back to ground zero. Iron Man 1, S tier.
Oh shit, S tier, 100%. I freaking loved. And where do you put it? S tier.
I'd say right after Ant-Man. Honestly, you wouldn't have anything after that. I think it's a perfectly rewatchable movie where you'll always be enthralled with it. It's Tony Stark is Robert Downey Jr. Like he embodies the character so well.
The same person.
Everything about it's so well done, man. So well done.
The pacing's perfect. The character arc is perfect. Like you literally go from hating the guy to loving the guy within the same movie. And I think they did that so freaking well.
Or would you agree?
It's tied for me, like between Black Panther and Iron Man. I think they both hold like a special place in my heart. So I mean, I consider where we're putting it, I'd say they're tied.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. I think I have like a slight edge over on Iron Man just because like that one is easily my most rewatched one out of all of them.
Oh, for sure.
It's just it's so easily digestible. You know. Now, what about Iron Man 2? I don't hate it as much as others.
It's not a horrible movie. It's just I think the issue with that movie is Whiplash. I think like they
really
I think they kind of waste him, man. I mean, like I think the performance, like what's his name, Mickey Rourke, right? Yeah, I think he gives a fantastic. I love the take they have on the character, like because I remember he's like tough with these tattoos. Like it's like he looks phenomenal, but it's like they really kind of waste his character. Like nothing significant happens.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, it's like a
suitcase armor, man. That's fucking dope.
Yeah, that was pretty cool when that came out. I remember that. It's I just can't remember the story that much. I remember like he's pissed at Stark for like taking his dad's like opportunity to be rich or whatever, or something like that. Like
pretty much, yeah. And just like guilty by association, more or less. And then, but you get War Machine in this one, man. And War Machine is actually a character I like more than Iron Man, just in the comic, because I just thought he was cooler because he's got like a whole militia on his back.
Yeah, I remember that fight with Iron Man, Whiplash, and War Machine. It was dope. Yeah. I liked it. I remember seeing like the bullets spraying, you know what I mean? And it's, you know, the like they're like, I remember that close-up shot of War Machine. He's like shooting his guns and shit. Yeah, it looks cool. But it forgettable like plot. I just don't remember really what.
Yeah, it's more an action movie than really caring about what actually goes on. I'd say it's better than Age of Ultron.
Where are we at here? Let me see. Age of Ultron. Where did we put Age of Ultron at?
Mid-sea, right under Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, I'd say it's better than that.
Do you think it's better than Wakanda? I haven't seen Wakanda.
No, it's not better than Wakanda. A lot of people might disagree with me on that, but I think it's hard with Wakanda Forever, man. It's a tough one to talk about just because you know Boseman died, and it's like it's like, is it just riding off of that, and that's what makes it so emotional, or is it just that it was handled really well? I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough call, but you could leave it like underneath Wakanda Forever for now.
I think that's good. What about Iron Man 3?
Iron Man 3. I liked Iron Man 3 more than 2.
Yeah, same.
The only thing that pisses me off, dude, is the freaking reveal with Ben Kingsley. Like the whole
I actually liked it, man. I thought it was just so goofy. It's very comic booky, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I just felt like I remember seeing the trailers, right? And I'm like, he's playing what's that character's name? The Mandarin, right?
Yeah, Mandarin. Mandarin's like one of his best foes, man. He's
like he's an iconic Iron Man foe.
Yeah.
And the fact that you just make him like a British actor, like I was pissed when that reveal happened, dude. I was just like, there's no way. I thought he was gonna be this ominous like final battle with him and shit like that. It took a turn that I was not expecting. It left me a little discouraged with that turn, but the movie overall is pretty solid. It's a really good movie. I think it was a good bounce back from Iron Man 2.
Okay, better than Wakanda Forever.
Dude, that movie's so tough to talk about. It really is. I know a lot of people like just straight up say like it's bad, and I can see maybe why some people think. Yeah, I mean, let's say I like Iron Man 3 more than Wakanda Forever.
In C or lower B?
Let's put it. What do you think? I mean, I didn't hear your thoughts on Iron Man 3.
On Iron Man 3, I think it has like a lot of emotion to it whenever it comes to, because like he's dealing with the PTSD from the alien invasion in Avengers 1. I think they actually talk about that in a very tough subject to talk about extremely well. And then the child that he kind of bonds with through there. I actually kind of like that. I just don't like the was it Killian? Was it Aldrich Killian was the one in
Guy Pearce?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is that Killian in the movie? Yeah. I just think he's terrible.
I thought he was whatever. It's just, I think he's kind of like a
villain
plot
of the
device.
movie.
Yeah.
That's it. But I would say like lower B only because of the emotional aspects of it. But I at the worst a high C. Better than Iron Man 2, but I haven't seen Wakanda Forever to speak on it.
Yeah, I mean you can put it low B for now.
Perfect. Now let's do the one hit wonder, because there's one of these I haven't seen. I've seen Captain Marvel. How do you feel?
I think it's like a C movie.
I agree. It's an action movie you turn on, and that's the most. And it relies a lot on retro nostalgia.
100%. Like when she's back in the 90s, I mean, you get excited for a little bit. Let me say this: I like it better than Quantumania. I don't know what you think of it. Yeah, I did not like Quantumania, dude. I really think it was not a good movie. Like
I don't know, Paul Rudd, man. I would just rather experience Paul Rudd than Brie Larson, and that's nothing against her. I just don't think that she's she's great in other things. I just think that like she's way too stiff as Captain Marvel, and that's not to say that she's not like that as a character. It's just like I think it goes a little bit over the edge with a lack of like flair and seasoning to it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I really liked her as Captain Marvel. I just didn't like the story. The story's forgettable. Like it's. I think the casting was great with her. I really enjoy Brie Larson. Like when she's given like material that's actually pretty solid. I think she can act the hell out of it. But it's you know, like when you ask someone, hey, what happened in Captain Marvel, no one remembers.
Yeah, nobody does. Like, I just remember the blockbuster.
I remember the blockbuster. I remember the green people. I forget what they're called.
The Skrulls.
Like the Skrulls, and they're like earlier Nick Cage that got before the eye patch. I remember that stuff. But yeah, it's not. I don't know. I mean, you could put it underneath Quantumania. I just did not like Quantumania, dude. Like it's just really disappointed me. I felt like it was a movie that was super hyped up to being something pretty critical, and it wasn't.
No, yeah, I think that's a good spot where it's at. Incredible Hulk.
Oh shit, I forgot about Incredible Hulk.
Ed Norton,
Incredible
with
Hulk.
Is that Tim Roth as
Abomination? Yeah. Oh my god, dude! I haven't seen this movie since. I shit you not. I have not seen this movie since like maybe 2014.
Really?
Yeah,
it's been that long. It's one of those ones I watch annually. I just watched it a few months ago.
You're gonna have to. I remember seeing it. I saw it in theaters when it came out, and then I saw it in 2014, like a rewatch. But I don't remember much of it. Like I liked him as Bruce Banner. I think he plays a great Bruce Banner. I did it, and I liked that it was like more, as gritty and realistic as you can get with the Hulk. You know what I mean? Because like the original Hulk was like super cartoony and kind of fake. Like this one was like a lot more grittier. So I liked it a lot. I mean, it's better than this, or maybe top C tier or low B tier. I don't. I mean, you know more about it than I do.
Yeah, this might be one where we have a big disparity. This is my second favorite Marvel movie, man.
Really? Holy shit!
So again, I didn't say this earlier because sometimes I forget. He's so forgotten. Like he only gets cameo appearances and like 10-15 minutes of screen time here and there. Hulk is one of my favorite heroes. He is another reason why I tune into Marvel and stuff. I think Edward Norton was perfectly fine. I don't think he was incredible as Bruce Banner, but I mean, he's Edward Norton. You know, he probably did exactly what he was told to do. I just like you said, man, I love the long hair Hulk. I love everything about it. I love the scene whenever he burst out after he first turns into the Hulk, and like they're just shooting, and then you see the bullets like expunge out of his back. I think the ending scene, like, whenever
more scary, kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was a lot more like if I saw this on the like happening, like if I was in this building and I saw this Jolly Green Giant just burst out, I'd shit my pants.
Yeah,
like, this dude just expunged bullets out of like his pores in his body. But the best thing I like about it is I think the last fight is one of the least talked about and best done fights in all of Marvel.
I do remember the fight. That was that nighttime fight, right, with Tim Roth?
Yeah, where they're like in the middle of the road and they just kind of like huff and puff at each other and then just boom, boom. It's the buildup of it, man. It's like, step, and it's just done so well, man. The cinematography in this was extremely well done. I just think it's in general, even if you take it outside, I know a lot of people really don't like it. I just genuinely don't understand why. I think it's a really well done Hulk movie. I think it's exactly it's a product of 2008, whenever it came, 2008-9, whenever it came out. It's a pure product of that time, man. And I don't see how anybody couldn't like it. It's one of the better superhero movies out of that time.
So this came out what year? 2008
or 9?
2008.
I know it's right after Iron Man. It was the second movie.
Yeah, so like it's yeah, I mean, it looks like it got a 67%. I don't remember like the reception for it. Like that's what I'm trying to look up to see like what people thought about it. It has an audience score of 69%, reception of 67%. So it looks like it got decent reviews. Is it? I mean, you're saying it's like S tier, A tier?
On my personal ranking, yes, but on an official ranking, I'd be fine with the B.
You're not going to put it over Civil War, are you?
No, I'll put it over Iron Man 3 easily all day, every day, though.
I'll take that. I mean, like it's hard. It's hard to. I mean, I have Wakanda there sitting at that sea, and you haven't seen it, so. And I barely remember the Hulk, so.
It's definitely worth a rewatch. I mean, dude, you got Ed.
I kind of want to rewatch it the more you're talking about it, because it's like I remember it was the second. Because like didn't Tony Stark show up in like a after credit scene or something like that, or like he makes a quick cameo in the movie
in the bar at the very end.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I gotta rewatch it again.
Technically, the first mention, I don't know if it was like the Avengers Initiative or something like that, but yeah, it was technically, I believe.
Yeah, they're talking about that.
Yeah, it was either that or Iron Man 2 where they first talk about that.
We are so screwed. We have 5 minutes, by the way.
We'll barrel through these next 4. I mean, we won't get done in 5 minutes, but
yeah, we'll do the best we can, guys. Thor. You know what? I really like the first Thor movie. I mean, but it's a formula that's been done like a million times. I mean, it's the same story when you kind of think about it as Iron Man 1. It's like you got your cocky main character who thinks he's the shit or whatever, and he needs to get humbled, and he gets humbled, and at the end, he's a really kind-hearted dude. And it's, I really, really liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree. I'd say pretty much everything. I think it just suffers from a little bit of pacing once he gets into Earthrealm. That's about it. That's really it. It's just it hits like this blockade, but otherwise, I think that movie's better than any Thor movie really had a right to be as an origin story.
Oh,
I think they
did
it perfectly.
It's probably the best Thor movie. I mean, I'll honestly, I know some people will say Ragnarok's probably their favorite, but I would probably say the original Thor's still the best, in my opinion.
I think I agree with you, honestly. What would you say? Mid B, A?
Let's see what we got going on here. Yeah, you could throw it up A. I think that that phase 1 of the MCU where they started introducing all these characters had the best movies that they ever put out.
Now, this is one I've only seen once, and I barely remember it. I just remember Kroll in it. F? You give it an F?
Wait, are we talking about Thor?
Dark World.
Okay, actually, you know what? Throw Ant-Man and the Wasp in F, and then throw Dark World on D. Like, that's... Yeah, I hate both of them, but I'd say I'd rather watch Thor than Ant-Man and the Wasp again.
I'm trying to think. Like, is it...
Dark World sucked, dude. It really sucked.
I just remember it had some cool parts, like the banter between Loki and Thor. I think that's a little bit underrated.
That was cool, and it had like a dark tone to it. Like it was a little. I mean, like we just talked about, it's like this weird thing with superhero movies where it's like the first one's like super lighthearted and colorful, and the second one always has to go dark for some reason. And I don't like Thor. I don't know. I don't remember what happened. I remember it was like the elves, and they were like pissed off at Anthony Hopkins. I don't fucking remember, dude. I just remember walking out of there. I was like, I didn't really care about it.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think Ant-Man and the Wasp still you got Paul Rudd. Like that's the only reason I'd say it's not.
You can tie him at D. What I mean,
I would say tie him because I think there's a movie worse on this list that we still haven't ranked yet.
Maybe I'm not. I gotta look through those and see. Where are we at? What's next?
Ragnarok.
It's a fun movie. I like it, but I don't think it hits the notes of the first one. I know a lot of people say it's their favorite, but Thor, it's a really, really fun movie. I'd probably put it like top B or low A. Is it an unpopular opinion? You hate this one?
No, I just think it tries to be way too funny, man. I just don't like. This is around the time where everything had to be super funny. You know what I mean? And that's my problem with it. And they also kind of try to like incorporate that Hulk story a little bit. I would say lower B, not upper B or mid.
Lower B.
I could put it above Iron Man 3. I just don't know if I can put it above Incredible Hulk.
That's fair. I don't.
That's a good spot.
I don't disagree with that.
Fucking F for Love and Thunder.
What's the next one? Oh, Love and Thunder. I'll say this.
There's no way, bro.
I'll say. Hold on. I'll say this. I like. I mean, this is my unpopular opinion. I liked it more than other people did, but it is just a train wreck of just gags. Like that's all it really is. Like it's just everything's a joke. And I'm the 1% bro that for some reason that laughed at the fucking goat or llama. I don't know why. I thought it was fucking hilarious. I don't know why. When I think it fell like on a moon or something, and it got quiet, and you just heard the fucking bah or whatever. I laughed at that. I don't know why. Those fucking goats made me laugh. But
I think it's a genuine F movie. I'm pissed. I spent 2 hours watching that. That's how much I didn't like that movie. That was when I lost hope for the MCU.
I don't. Sure, you could put it F. I mean, like I'd rather watch Thor: Love and Thunder over Ant-Man and the Wasp. I just really hated Ant-Man and the Wasp. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But you have Paul Rudd. I mean, yeah, sure. Like it's
I think it's more redeeming than Thor: The Dark World, dude. Because you got Paul Rudd. I mean, you got Chris Hemsworth, but Chris Hemsworth isn't inherently a funny dude like Paul Rudd is.
You got Loki in there too, though.
That's true.
I don't know. I mean, I think those are tied. D is tied.
Yeah, I agree.
I pick one or the other.
Okay, let the audience know, since you feel different. How do you feel about Love and Thunder? Like, what's your actual score personally?
I mean, it wasn't that great of a movie. I'd probably give it like a 5 or 6 out of 10. Like it's nothing. Like it's nothing amazing. Yeah, but it's not like, I mean, everyone was coming out saying like it's 1 or 2. Like it wasn't that bad to me, but it is just a running gag. There's nothing significant that happens with that movie.
Yeah, I agree. Black Widow.
I was disappointed with Black Widow, dude. I was super
Agree.
stoked seeing it because I was like, man, you're just gonna get a freaking Scarlett Johansson assassin movie. Like this should be like freaking dark and
I was super
badass.
excited.
And I think I want to say the first half of the movie is actually like pretty solid, but when she starts like going back to her family and everything, I think that's when it falls apart.
Yep, that's exactly what I was about to say. And the Taskmaster reveal was stupid.
It was
boring,
killing
off one of the best supervillains that Marvel has that isn't like a multiversal or like earth-ending threat. It's just dumb. Everything that they did in this movie was just dumb. I think, like you said, the first half of it was really good. Who's the dude that David Arbor plays?
Dude,
Red Soldier or whatever it is.
Yeah, he's like the Russian Captain America almost.
Yeah, great. I love that small ensemble cast like that of just like these niche little superheroes that are grouping up and everything. A Red Guardian, I think, is what it was. But yeah, I thought it was really well done. The snowy prison shots were excellent. Really
it was
well
cool.
done.
And like a lot of the action sequences, like the stuff with her sister too, where they're like fighting, like that shit was pretty badass too. It's I don't know, it just falls apart when she starts like getting together with her family. And I think I forget what her sister's name is. She's in a few of the Marvel shows, but her sister's cast really well too.
Yeah.
Who plays the sister, dude? It's a girl from Midsommar and
Florence.
Her name Florence. Yeah, girl Florence. Like she does a great job. It's just a weird movie. Plus the stakes aren't there because it's a prequel. It's like you already know she's gonna live. It's like nothing crazy, or I mean she dies, I guess, in Endgame, but it's like there's no stakes with this movie. It's just a prequel movie, which is kind of a weird timeline thing. But I like it more than Quantumania. That's like my basis for everything.
Really?
Yep.
That's your middle ground?
Oh, that's my middle ground, dude. I'll watch
I don't know. At least Quantumania is sporadically bad, not the entire last half of it's bad. You know what I mean?
Dude, Bill Murray's there for no reason in that movie. Like he's completely wasted. When Bill Murray showed up, I'm like, this is stupid. This is fucking dumb.
They were hoping that Bill Murray
should be on the Ghostbusters set right now. Like, it's like, dude, get the fuck out of here.
Maybe
like,
that's why he was. Maybe the Frozen Empire set was just like right next door, and he was like,
what
are you guys doing? Filming a Marvel movie? Write me in.
Pretty much.
Where's the suit?
Dude, I will say this is going to sound weird, but I think the opening credits of Black Widow were it was dope. Because I think they had played that like, it was like I think they had played a Kurt Cobain song. And it was like you see like the black CIA stuff with the like it looks really, really cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. But I mean you got to think for Paul Rudd, it sounds like, dude. It sounds like if Paul Rudd's in it, you're like, like it can't be that bad.
Yeah, I'm not like his biggest fan. It's just like, dude, Paul Rudd is just such a lovable dude.
Oh, he's fucking amazing. Let me say this: he's a great human being. He seems like a really cool dude. He's very humble. He's not cocky whatsoever. Yeah. But I mean, I'm still just basing it off what the, what the movie is. Yeah,
yeah. Like he'd be a dude if I didn't know it was Paul Rudd and I just ran into him. He has the type of person I'm like, bro, I got plans after this, but you want to go get a beer?
Yeah, you just want to sit down and have some beers with him. He's a super cool dude.
Yeah,
and we have officially failed, by the way, 4 minutes ago.
Oh, did we?
So
really?
Yeah, we failed, but I mean, we'll go into overtime here and try to get these movies squared away. I think this is the first one we failed.
Yeah, because we did them all with like one was 3 seconds left.
I think Civil War took up the most time, dude. I think we were talking about Civil War for like 7 minutes.
Dude, I went in on that movie, bro.
Yeah, so I blame you.
Yeah, that's totally me. What about the original Doctor Strange, directed by Scott Derrickson?
Dude, I loved Doctor Strange. I really had a good time with it. It was a lot of fun. Yeah,
I'd say it's A tier for sure.
Yeah, I think it's A tier. I don't think it hits S tier, but it's a really fun movie. I think
it's what's better his name? Than Thor.
Why am I blanking out on names today, dude? Who plays Benedict? Yeah, he does a great job in that role. But it's the same. This is my problem with Marvel too. It's like they rehash the same freaking formula. Iron Man, Thor, Doctor Strange, cocky guy at the beginning, super cocky, needs to get humbled. He gets humbled, and he's a super nice guy at the end. It's like you guys are gonna do this like a million times over and over again. But I mean, it's a beautiful movie. I liked a lot of the visuals in that movie too.
Yeah.
In IMAX, that movie, I remember seeing it in IMAX, and it was super. It was trippy, dude. Seeing the screen that big and all the weird shit they did on it. It's a really solid movie.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't like some parts of it. Like some of the training stuff and stuff, it felt like it was a little bit more rushed than really what it takes to become the Sorcerer Supreme. He just becomes it in like 20 minutes.
He's Doctor Strange, man.
Yeah, it's just like he just goes like this, and all of a sudden he knows every spell, and he's like one of the most powerful people in the universe. So I mean, at that point, you just like stop trying to have logic, and you just turn your brain off and have fun. And it's Scott Derrickson, dude.
Do you like it better than Thor?
Oh, for sure.
Really?
Yeah,
I'd still say Thor has the upper hand personally.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I mean, you could leave it. I mean, we got to compromise somewhere. I mean, you can leave it there. I just think Thor is probably a little bit better. Yeah.
Where do you think Multiverse of Madness stands?
Dude, I was so fucking pissed at that movie.
I agree, but it's more because of who it's directed by. And again, I go in with an open mind, but you can tell that movie reeks of studio interference, man. It just reeks.
I agree 100%. I think there were things he wanted to do with that movie that he was not allowed to do. Because you really get the sense that he wanted to go a lot more.
He wanted to go full Raimi, man.
Yeah, he wanted to go a lot more horror with it, and they were not there, which sucks because then you get like, I mean, like Deadpool just came out rated R, and they don't, it's like they give him full reins to do whatever, but it's like you should have given him full reins to make the movie he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And you came up with this. I think, Elizabeth Olsen does a great job as always. I think she's great as Scarlet Witch. He does a great job as Doctor Strange. The weird shit going into, the freaking Xavier thing and the Fantastic Four thing. It was dumb.
Yeah. No, I agree. And because there's some great shots in this, man. Like, some genuinely amazing shots. I forget what part it is, but I know it's like a little bit of a time lapse or like a little like bit of a montage, and like a hand comes up. And it's just, it's so horror inspired. And there's just so many parts, like, especially with Elizabeth Olsen's character, you could tell he wanted to go the full 9 yards, but he just wasn't allowed to. Like, you could just tell, like, he's like reaching his hand and there's a hand that's like pulling it back. Dude. You know what I mean? And
it's weird because you hire him for that, right? It's like you want that kind of horror-esque kind of, it's like, so why not utilize that and take advantage of it? And even the scenes with Elizabeth Olsen where she's kind of, it's been a minute since I've seen it, dude, but those scenes like where she's with her kids in the house, and like the weird shit's happening, and it's like, dude, this is him, but it's like they're not letting him do what he wants to do. Like, you can tell there's a filter on the movie.
Yeah,
it's just, I was kind of discouraged after it ended. It just was not what I was expecting it to be.
I'd say it's better than Age of Ultron, though.
Where are we at with that? Where's Age of Ultron on here?
Mid-C.
Mid-C.
It's before Captain Marvel, but under Iron Man 2.
I don't know.
I just think it has better rewatchability.
I don't know, dude. That shit with Xavier pissed me off. I think that really left a sour taste in my mouth. It was like, it really pissed me off. I'd say I like Ultron better than
really
Universe of Madness. Yeah.
As long as I get to rank it above, it cannot go below Captain Marvel, though. It's much better than Captain Marvel, man. I got to give it that because Benedict carries, Elizabeth Olsen's great,
And you say there are some amazing visuals in that movie. I love the the color grading and the palette that they use. It's just kind of dark and really kind of horror-esque, but it just didn't go all the way.
You saw the Marvels, right?
Yeah,
I haven't.
F.
Sound off.
F.
Worse than Love and Thunder?
Yeah.
Damn.
From what I remember, yeah.
I'm
sorry, man. I love my girl, Brie Larson. I love her to death, but that movie, they needed to cut out the. So I saw the show with the Marvel girl,
Kamala
the other
Khan.
girl. Yeah, Kamala Khan. So like that. You know what? I'll give it. It's not a bad show. Like, it's actually pretty.
She's a great character.
She's a great. It's Oh, you saw the show?
Yeah, because I heard comic books are incredible, dude.
Yeah, it's the show's not bad. It's a fun little show. It's super, lighthearted, and I think she does a great job. But it's like with her, Brie Larson, and then this other chick from WandaVision, it's just too much. It's like you lose. It should be Captain Marvel 2 instead. It's the Marvels, and you just the plot. It just doesn't focus on Captain Marvel whatsoever. It just sucks, man. It's like a lot of gags too. There's way too many gags. There's like a whole freaking we've already talked spoilers, but I know you're not gonna care. But like, there's a whole like dance sequence thing that happens. Like, It's
There's a
weird.
random musical number.
Yeah, it's just, dude, it gets ridiculous over the top. It sucked. It really sucked.
Okay, well, let me ask you about this one, because this one I actually plan on watching soon, because I didn't watch it for no reason. I just never got to it. But Eternals. Really? Was it not that good?
Dude, I remember I was super stoked for this movie. I saw it
good
Thursday. Yeah, it looked great. And I saw it opening night and I was like trying to stay awake. Like it is really, really boring. So the actors all do a great job. The performances are great.
Yeah.
It just has a lot of pacing issues. There's a lot of parts of this movie where it just gets really, really dull and boring and nothing is going on. And I know they're trying to build up characters and stuff like that, but yeah, man. I mean, it's maybe I'll put it below Quantumania. Maybe now we have the new baseline there. It's not yeah, it's not anything special. You're not missing out. I mean, if you watch it, let me know what you think, but it's kind of dull.
Well, where would you put Deadpool and Wolverine? Because I haven't gotten to that one yet.
This is tough, man, because I just saw it, so I'm still fresh. I've seen it twice already. I fucking loved that movie. Like, I gave it a 9 out of 10 in my review. It hits so many fucking notes, but it's hard because I'm looking at movies here like Infinity War and shit like that. Like it's
good compared to what we've been getting, but you don't know if it's
I don't know if it's just because it's like we've gotten so much shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, it's a fun movie. Like, so let me do this. I kind of want to put it low A tier. Like,
just as a baseline.
For now, like it could be higher, it could be lower, but it's such a fun movie, dude. It really is. I think that I already did a review for it, but I think they gave Ryan Reynolds what they should have done with Sam in Multiverse of Madness. They pretty much said like, do whatever you want, dude. Like no holds bar, just make fun of us, make fun of everything. Like it doesn't matter. And they, the movie succeeds on that front. So, and Hugh Jackman does a fucking great job as Wolverine. So
yeah.
I kind of want to put it higher, but I'll leave it there because I'm still kind of opening week, still processing it.
That's a good spot for you. What about Shang-Chi?
Shang-Chi was fun. I liked it.
I think it's super underrated.
It's a good movie. I don't know. I got to watch it again. Like I have I saw it once opening night and then I bought it on 4K and watched it again. And it's fun. There's a little pacing issue, like near like between the second and third act. Like where they're going in the wilderness with Ben Kingsley or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that part was kind of boring and it kind of threw me out for a little bit. But I mean, it's a great freaking movie. Like the action sequences are great, the cinematography is great, the story is fucking incredible. Like I think it's a really good movie.
Yeah. Do you think it's better than Ragnarok or Iron Man 3?
Yeah. I probably. But what do you think?
I agree. That's why I asked you that specifically. Yeah, because that's where I was
really thinking. And I agree with you. It's underrated. I feel like it came out. A lot of people didn't talk about it.
Yeah. Samuel Leo does a great job, man. Like that bus scene was crazy.
Oh yeah, dude, that scene. I forgot about that scene. Yeah, dude, that shit's crazy. Like he really put in work for this movie.
Yeah.
And even the final fight sequence at the end. I know there's a lot of CGI and shit, but it's a fun fight sequence. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Really well done. Now let's get in. Let's save Guardians. Let's do Guardians now. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. Classic.
I love it. It's a great movie. It's probably for sure either S or A tier.
Yeah, I'd say at the very least low S or high A.
Is it better than Avengers? I guess that's the question you have to ask because we have. Like is it? You can tie it. You can put it right next to Avengers.
I was gonna say it is because it's pretty much the same thing, but just slightly more. You can't really say more sci-fi when all of it's sci-fi.
Yeah.
More Firefly, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Like more. You know what I mean by that? I'm not trying to say it's like Firefly the show, but like it has that like more Star Wars element to it. It feels like,
And plus, I think what works with that movie. So I mean, it's the soundtrack, obviously. Like the music, as soon as it kicks in, you're like, this is something different that we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
So I'm good leaving it there. I think it's pretty much tied with Guardians or with the first Avengers movie.
Oh, I accidentally put Guardians 3 up there. What about Volume 2?
I forgot what happened in that movie, dude. Honestly, it's kind of forgettable. It got good reception though when it came out, didn't it? I think it did.
It did. I just like you said, I think it was It was just another one. It had no weight. I mean, you get Mantis, but it just didn't feel that good.
Yeah, it did not hit the notes of the first one.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'd put it. I don't know if it's a C. Like
I'd put it above Captain Marvel, maybe above. I don't know. I'd say highest in C. I don't think it's worse than any of those movies right there. But I haven't seen.
Yeah,
Wakanda Forever.
you can put it over Wakanda Forever. But yeah, I think that's fair.
No, I'm about to shock you, man. I've only seen a third of the third one.
A third? Really?
Yeah, I was at my friend's house whenever it dropped on Disney Plus, and he started watching it. Then I had to leave, and I never finished it after that. It's not that I had a problem with it. I just need to finish it.
Like, it's a fun movie. I think it's he definitely redeems himself from the second one.
Really?
I liked it a lot better than the second one. Yeah. It's not like freaking mind-boggling. It's not like the first one, but
Yeah.
I'd give it like a B. I'd put it like where we got Shang-Chi. I'd put it around like Shang-Chi level.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, you like Hulk. I'll let you take Hulk for this one, but I would probably put it over the Hulk too, because the story, the Rocket story in that movie is pretty.
I do remember
emotional.
that.
Yeah, it's really, really solid.
I saw a little. I really do need. Like, I didn't have any issues. I was super into it. It's just I was out of state, had to get back in state.
Yeah,
you know,
it's James Gunn, dude. I mean, even when I mean, like we gave the second one like where's it on this ranking? We put it high C. I mean, like even when he's doing like his worst, so to speak, like he still does a solid job. James Gunn is just, you're always going to see something quirky and weird with him. So solid movie.
Yeah. Now, what about Spider-Man Homecoming?
Homecoming's interesting, dude. I really liked it. I loved it. I mean, like it's a great movie, but some of it, it's like
it just doesn't work, man.
Really? The problem I have with it is like I feel like it's hyped up because Iron Man's in it. I'm like, would it be a good movie if he was not in that?
No. No, dude. There's so much of this works, and so much. I don't like the Holland Spider-Mans. I don't, man. I just
really.
I think they are rather soulless. I really do. When I say that, like they're just witty. Like Tom Holland, I don't know, man. I just don't buy into him. I just don't.
Really
like,
interesting.
You've got Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield. I will declare it for the whole world. Andrew Garfield was the perfect hybrid of everything Spider-Man and Peter Parker that you wanted. Everything. Now, did he look a little bit too old? And I think Tom Holland, like if you could give Tom Holland the personality and quirk of the Garfield Spider-Man, he'd be perfect. Physically, he'd be perfect for the timeline they're going for. Because Andrew Garfield looked really out of place in high school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He looked like he was 10 years out of high school, being in high school, you know? But in Homecoming, I think the only things that work is Michael Keaton. He fucking kills it as Vulture.
He always kills it, dude. Yeah.
Oh, he's so good.
He's great.
The homemade suit was really cool. Ned is, oh my God, man. He was the worst part of Taro, and he was the worst part of this movie, man.
Shit.
I just don't give a shit about
Poor guy.
He's just a dude trying to make it in the acting world. I'll give him that. It's not a personal attack, but like I just definitely don't like him. You know what I mean?
It's hard because
too goofy.
So like when I first saw it when it came out, I walked out of the theater. I was like, I love this movie. I really do. But like over time, I've like questioned like when you said it's soulless. I wouldn't say it's soulless, but I think that this franchise so far, specifically with Tom Holland Spider-Man, it's been propped up. He's been propped up by other things. So like if you look at the first Iron Man, if you look at No Way Home, it's Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, and then the second you look at the second one, he's on his own, and it's the worst. Well, it's not even. It's like the worst one. It's like
it easily is the worst one, man.
It's the worst one out of the three.
Yeah, I think that one's a genuine F movie. That movie
holy
sucks.
shit, no, I don't give
it.
Dude,
Far From Home sucks, dude. The only thing good about that is Jake Gyllenhaal in the stealth suit.
You're not gonna put it under Quantumania. You're not. I'm sorry. I'd rather 100% watch Far From Home than the Quantumania.
Dude, I don't know, man. I mean, Homecoming, I could give a B, because I can be more
Homecoming's
fun.
It
is an origin story, but that's about as far as I can give it as a B, man. I can't put it above Incredible Hulk. It's not a better origin story than Hulk. Dude, that's just facts.
I'd put it it's around there. I mean, I don't think we're gonna agree on that. Like it's so like hold on. I'm talking about the first one. Is that the first one?
Yeah, it is.
That's Homecoming. Okay, yeah, my bad. Yeah. It's hard to tell with the posters. They all look the same.
Yeah, they all do. Which better than Shang-Chi, or is it better than Volume 3 though?
I'd say it's tied.
I don't think it's. Yeah, you think it's tied with Volume 3?
Yeah.
All right.
You're like, all right, man.
Dude, I don't know if I can give that thing anything higher than a D. Dude, that movie just sucks so much.
Okay, well, let's go with let's leave that one last. Let's do No Way Home. Where do you think
No Way Home? You know, I actually
It's
had that same
nostalgia.
thing. It is, dude. I had that how you just described Homecoming. You know, he's finally out on his own. Again, you still have that miserable guy, Ned. You have Mary or not Mary
Miserable
Jane.
guy.
Yeah. Dude, he's so it's just like, dude, just be serious for 5 seconds. If that was my friend, I'd get so pissed at him constantly. It's like, bro, our lives are in danger. Stop joking.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? But so No Way Home, I liked it a lot going out. I was like, man, you know, Marvel's doing their thing, this and that. It was really well done. But after I left, I really didn't remember much about it. That didn't have something to do with Andrew Garfield or Toby or Willem Dafoe, because that was really well done. But I don't know. Like, it's one of those first times I walked out and my feelings dwindled after a few days.
I think it's a good movie. I think that it's just propped up by Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. It does take some risks though. I like the whole story thing at the end with everyone forgetting who he is. I thought that was a big risk to take. You know what I mean? Because you said, you know, he's established these relationships for 3 movies now, and you're just going to kind of do a clean slate thing, and that's an interesting way to kind of proceed with the character. So I think it took more risks on that front. So do you like it better than Civil War or less than Civil War?
That's actually
well, you got the Hulk there. I think the Hulk is the big one for you, man. It's like, can I put this movie over the Hulk?
Yeah, I can't put it above Hulk, bro. There's just something in that 100% is biased, dude. I think a big giant green bean looking dude just walking around and smashing stuff is the greatest, coolest thing ever. Like, I just really think it is. No, I don't think it's better than Hulk, but I mean, I can recognize it. It's just I'd rather something operate off of like coolness before nostalgia, awe factor. You know, like Hulk taking 2 pieces of a car and using them as like mitts to beat the shit out of you, dude. That's cool. That's original.
Okay. So put it. You like it better than No Way, or you like it better than Homecoming?
No, I think actually, yeah, I do. I mean, the parts of Homecoming that work are fucking great, man. Like, I really do think that, and it's the same thing with No Way Home.
Just tie them up and put it like under Guardians 3, but tie it with like that one.
Oh, like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Far From Home is like, dude, I just don't know, bro. I can.
It's not okay. So like, if we're looking at what's F tier here? We got freaking Love and Thunder.
Hell yeah, it deserves that spot.
Okay, yeah, but it is not like Homecoming is not, or what is this one? Far From Home.
Far From Home,
not that level, dude.
Dude, it's just so boring. Like, it's so.
I mean, Jake Gyllenhaal. I like the whole twist where he's kind of like, you know, like they're using like the little drone shit and all that crap. Like, it's
like the special effects and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, that was cool. And yeah, I think he's the only redeeming part of it.
Yeah, he plays a great villain. But I mean, like, so like, if we're looking at ranking this, so like F tier. I know you never seen the Marvels. It's not the Marvels, dude, and it's not Love and Thunder for sure.
Yeah,
like it's and
I've only
D
seen
tier.
It
it's I guess that's the thing. So like, is it better than Quantumania?
No, because I'd much rather watch Quantumania than Far From Home. But I can settle with that because I don't think it's better than Black Widow. I don't. I definitely think it's better than Captain Marvel because I know we made a
compromise on that. I'd actually put. I'd probably. We can leave it there. I'd probably put it like a little bit around like the Age of Ultron kind of.
You think it's better than Multiverse of Madness?
Yeah,
dude.
Multiverse of Madness pissed me off. You can put it where it was, but I just got pissed.
I would say right here.
Come on, man. You got the fucking Xavier thing and the freaking what's his face playing
John Krasinski.
Fantastic Four. Yeah, what the fuck was that, dude?
I think it was like trash. More of like so many people wanted that, so they're like, okay, here it is. So now you can kind of visualize it. I think that's what it was.
Dumb. It was just dumb. Yeah. And they wasted my homeboy too. What's his face that wanted to hunt the sorcerers for after the first Doctor Strange movie? Like, he was completely wasted. The
you're talking about his assistant?
Yeah, like remember that was like a after credit scene of the first one. He's hunting sorcerers, and I was like, oh shit, that's pretty fucking dope.
Yeah,
and then it's like they completely forgot about him in this one.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
I totally forgot about him. And so did they. So,
yeah, apparently.
All right.
So wait, we have Ant-Man as the best one? Holy shit.
Yeah, that was
yeah, I don't agree with that.
That was just the first one we did. So yeah, we can restructure that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's either Iron Man or Black Panther personally for me, but I know Ant-Man's yours, so like it's.
Do you think Ant-Man's better than Infinity War Endgame? I mean, they're just two different types of movies.
They're so different. Yeah, it's hard to compare them. I mean, yeah, I mean, you can even say that, to be frank, like all of these are like equal quality.
Yeah, I'd
say like I know some are a little bit better, yeah, for different reasons, but I'd say like let's leave S rank, like they're all pretty equal. I can pop any of those in and watch them and have a good time with them.
I'd say A rank is pretty good too.
A rank.
I don't agree with
I know. Yeah, I know you were gonna say that. And I mean, obviously over time, I'm gonna be curious where I put Deadpool and Wolverine, but I still think it's fucking
right there.
Outstanding. Yeah. Yeah, I think the rest is actually pretty decent. I could be wrong. I know someone's gonna shout us out in the comments and be like, "You put this over this," and
dude,
I mean, there's 30-something movies here, though, man. It's so hard to kind of wrap my mind around which one's better and which one's worse, and some of these I haven't seen for so long.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I think I agree with all of it. Especially, there's only 4 of them I haven't seen.
Yeah,
Deadpool, Eternals, Wakanda Forever, and the Marvels. Otherwise, I've seen them all. Or no, and Guardians 3. I still got 5 of them to catch up with. So
yeah,
I'll definitely.
I think that's solid. You go watch Deadpool in cinemas. How about you do that?
Maybe, man. I gotta wait, dude. There's something about going to the theaters, like, and this is like no shade at all, but anytime I've gone during the first 2 weeks of a Marvel movie, I always get stuck in a theater with like really bad body odor, man. Like it smells terrible in there. Like
a whole bunch of teenagers and young men. Yeah,
it smells terrible. And again, no shade. It's just like, man, it's just some people just don't.
You're not throwing shade, dude. It's like take a shower, man. Take a shower.
I don't want anybody feeling attacked in the comments because I don't know, man. Some people just go in there. It's like they haven't like wiped their ass in like 3 weeks, dude. And then, you know, like they'll lean to the left or the right and laugh really hard. And it's like, bro, now I got to move. And there's no seats to go to. So now I just got to hold my breath for an hour and a half.
Well, yeah, give it a week. Give it a, maybe the second week. I don't know, but it's a solid movie, dude. I think you'll like it.
Yeah. I think this is a good ranking.
Yeah, good ranking. We'll see. And I like how I wore a Batman shirt to a Marvel.
Yeah, right.
That didn't make any sense. But yeah, let us know what you guys think about the ranking, guys. Obviously, we may have different opinions than what you guys do, but leave some comments down below. Let us know what you would change or what you'd like to see different. And as always, we appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Later, everybody.